OMG, you guys. So, like, a while ago, DIY stress balls were totally the biggest thing ever on YouTube. Seriously, everyone and their mom was making them, and they looked so cool and satisfying to squish. My amazing friends Kim and Krissy and I saw all these videos popping up everywhere. We were watching them non-stop, and we just knew, deep down in our crafty hearts, that we absolutely had to jump on this trend. It seemed like the perfect, fun, and easy DIY project for us to try together for a new video. We were super pumped to get started and make the best stress balls ever seen. We honestly thought it was going to be a piece of cake. Like, how hard could it possibly be to make a stress ball, right? You just get some balloons, find some squishy stuff to put inside, and boom, instant stress relief. We imagined ourselves effortlessly creating these perfect, colorful, squishy masterpieces in, like, 5 minutes flat. We were already dreaming about all the satisfying slow-motion shots we'd get for our YouTube video. We pictured ourselves laughing and having a super chill time, with no problems at all. Oh, how wrong we were, you guys. It was a classic case of looks easier than it actually is. So, we gathered all our supplies. We went out and bought a bunch of balloons, including some of those super cool crystal clear ones because we thought they would look awesome on camera. We imagined filling them with colorful slime or glitter, making them look totally magical. We also got different things to try as fillings, flour, rice, maybe even some tiny beads. We laid everything out on the table, feeling like total DIY queens, ready to conquer the world of stress balls. We had our cameras ready to film every single second of our supposedly easy and successful crafting session. It was all set up for greatness. But then, reality hit us, and it hit us hard, you guys. As soon as we started trying to come up with a new or original way to make these stress balls, things got tricky. We didn't just want to copy everyone else, you know? We wanted to be innovative. That's when we realized this wasn't going to be the super quick and simple project we had envisioned. Trying to figure out the right consistency for the filling, or how to get it into the balloon without a huge mess, was way more challenging than we anticipated. Our initial confidence started to waver just a tiny bit, but we were still determined. Okay, so our first actual attempts at making the stress balls were, to put it mildly, a complete and utter disaster. It was like a comedy show, but we were the clowns, and the joke was on us. We tried filling a balloon with flour first. Sounds simple, right? Wrong! The flour went everywhere except neatly inside the balloon. It poofed up in clouds, covering our hands, our clothes, and pretty much the entire table. Kim had a little flour moustache at one point, and Krissy sneezed, sending a mini flour explosion into the air. We were laughing so hard, but also thinking, uh-oh, this is not going good, you guys. Then we tried a different method, maybe using a funnel for the flour. That helped a little with the mess, but then came the tying part. Oh my gosh, trying to tie a balloon filled with a weird, lumpy substance is a workout for your fingers, let me tell you. And then, the moment of truth, the first squish. One of the balloons, which we thought was finally perfect, just decided to give up on life. It didn't dramatically pop, but it sort of oozed. A slow, sad leak of floury goo started seeping out. It was a truly pathetic sight, and we just stared at it, completely defeated for a moment. The most hilarious and heartbreaking moment, though, was with one stress ball that we actually managed to make look pretty decent. We were so proud of this one little guy. We even took thumbnail pictures for the video, thinking, yes, success. It was a beautiful clear balloon with some colorful something inside. It looked amazing. But then, literally 5 minutes after we snapped those perfect photos, the stress ball just burst, exploded, all over the place. There was a sudden pop, and the filling went flying. We were shocked. Then we just burst out laughing. It was so ridiculous. All that work for a 5-minute lifespan. Honestly, after those first few failures, we felt a mix of frustration and pure amusement. How could something so seemingly simple be so difficult for us? We were supposed to be DIY pros. We were making stress balls, but the process itself was actually making us more stressed. It was ironic, right? We had flour in our hair, sticky stuff on our hands, and a pile of deflated, sad-looking balloon casualties. But through it all, we couldn't stop giggling at the sheer chaos we had created. It was a bonding experience, for sure, bonded by failure and flour. So, after the initial wave of disasters, we were like, okay, deep breaths. We can't give up now. We were determined to find a new, amazing way to make these stress balls. We didn't just want to make the boring old flour-filled ones that everyone else was making, especially after our flour fiasco. We wanted something unique, something that would make people say, wow, how did they do that? So we put on our thinking caps, which were probably also covered in a fine layer of flour by that point, and started brainstorming some more creative and hopefully less explosive ideas. The pressure was on, you guys. We decided to experiment with different fillings. We thought about using Orbeez, those little water beads, because they look super cool when they're hydrated. Getting them into the narrow neck of a balloon without crushing them or making a slippery mess was a whole new challenge. Imagine trying to stuff tiny, slippery marbles into a stretchy hole. It was tricky. Then we thought about slime. We love slime, you guys know that. But getting slime into a balloon without creating a sticky, gooey catastrophe, that was another level of difficulty. One attempt ended up with more slime on Krissy's hands than inside the actual balloon. We also experimented with different types of balloons. Those crystal clear balloons we bought looked so pretty, but they also seemed a bit more delicate than regular balloons. We had to be super careful not to puncture them with our fingernails or stretch them too much. We learned that the hard way, of course, with a few more sudden pops and spills. We even tried using things like felting needles, not for felting, but just wondering if any of our other craft tools could somehow help us in this bizarre quest. Spoiler alert. A felting needle is not helpful for stuffing balloons, in case you were wondering. It mostly just pokes holes, which is the opposite of what you want. One of the funniest moments during this phase of experimentation involved trying to use a water-based filling with some glitter. We thought it would look like a magical galaxy inside the clear balloon. Kim was holding the balloon while I carefully tried to pour the glittery water in. Of course, the balloon slipped, and a wave of sparkly blue water went everywhere. It splashed all over Kim, all over the table, and even got on the camera lens. Kim looked like a surprised, glittery avatar. We paused, looked at each other, and just lost it laughing. It was a beautiful, sparkly mess, and another failed stress ball attempt for the books. So after all the mess, the explosions, and the uncontrollable laughter, what did we actually learn from our great DIY stress ball challenge? Well, the biggest lesson was that DIY projects are not always as easy as they look in those perfect, sped-up online videos. Surprise! It takes a lot of trial and error and sometimes a whole lot of patience. We also learned that trying to invent something completely new on the spot, especially when you're filming, can be super tough. Sometimes the simplest methods are popular for a reason, because they actually work without causing a glittery flood in your craft room. If you guys are thinking about making your own DIY stress balls, I definitely have some tips for you, learned from our many, many mistakes. First, maybe start with a tried and true method before you try to reinvent the wheel. Flour or rice are classic fillings for a reason, even if they made a mess for us at first. Second, work over a tray or a covered surface. Trust me on this one, it will save you so much cleanup time. Also, don't overfill your balloons. That was one of our biggest mistakes, leading to many sad balloon pops. A little goes a long way for a good squish. When it comes to supplies, those crystal clear balloons can look amazing if you get them right, but be extra gentle with them. Maybe use a double balloon. Put your filling in one, then put that balloon inside a clear one for extra strength and a cool look. For fillings, if you're feeling adventurous, go for it. But maybe test a small amount first to see how it behaves inside a balloon. And have plenty of paper towels on hand always. You will need them, I promise you. Having the right tools can help, but sometimes the best tool is just perseverance and a good sense of humor. Most importantly, you guys, remember to have fun with it. Our stress ball adventure was a total comedy of errors, but it was also incredibly funny and a great memory with my friends. Don't be afraid to fail, because sometimes the fails make for the best stories. Even though our first batch of stress balls literally burst after their photo shoot, we eventually figured some things out. So go ahead, get your craft on, make some squishy things, and if it all goes wrong, just laugh it off and try again. You got this. Good luck, and don't stress out making your stress balls.